Hey guys, welcome back. bdckr here. We're back with another Q&A. This is season 2 and it is an episode and we don't remember which number it is, and you guys will be able to tell because it'll be in the title. So it'll be a nice little surprise for us, I guess, when we put it up.
Easter egg.
Yeah. So anyways, getting right into the first question. It comes from no one, and they say, Q&A, which gear do you think is more overpowered? Difficult to face or better overall? Astro harness or Claw of Horus?
I was originally going to say it depends, but actually, the more I think about it, Claw of Horus offers some offensive benefit, but it's not a lot, and it's hard to manipulate the situation so you get it, whereas Astro Harness really does slow you down. On defense, it's actually really good, and to get that effect of 3, basically you're getting John Stewart Green Lantern's passive 3 times, and 100%, 50%, and 10%. So it could really slow down the match. It only takes up 1 slot. So if you gear them offensively otherwise, it could actually be pretty useful on offense and defense on somebody who's got, say, low health and you want to make them a little bit hardier.
And I'm imagining, we haven't done extensive testing with it yet, but I'm imagining that 5 seconds where you can feel free to do literally anything you want without repercussion on offense. And you can kind of afford to make mistakes, you can afford to play a little recklessly. It would probably be a lot of fun, even if it wasn't like super game-changing inherently.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Boss Elman Grundy getting some good use out of that when he hits 10%.
Oh,
and then you don't have, and then you don't have to stack him with, or stick him with the John Stewart Green Lantern, right?
Yeah, as long as it triggers, for sure. So there we go. Our next comment comes from MattsGotIssues. And they say, this game sucks hard. No time or money spent to make it good. Injustice 2 may be good, but for now, MCOC, which is Marvel's Clash of Clans, is a real game.
And I know from other comments that you've made that you're not totally shitting on us, but my back gets up a little bit in general with the general sort of thing of crapping on other people's fandoms. Like, it bugs me a little bit because when it's something that, you know, doesn't hurt you, people enjoy it. What's the big deal? You know, live and let live kind of thing. I mean, again, like, I know it's not that serious. It's just that I think this is my own sort of personal, not really trigger. Trigger sounds more serious, but just my own thing. I just figure it's actually other people's fandoms that maybe you're not as much into. It's still kind of cool, and even if it really isn't, and you have some experience and you know, just walk away.
Yeah, and I mean, taking it from somebody who is at least partially interested in kind of video games and game design, not to any extent where I'm any good at it or really know what I'm talking about, except when other people tell me what to think. Like
you want to give some examples of that?
Injustice has a lot of stuff right. Well, like, I watch a lot of really kind of well-spoken people. Extra Credits are actual game designers,
right?
Who work on real actual video game things. There's like Mark Brown, Game Maker's Toolkit, and they're all like really interesting, really kind of smart, well-spoken people. And super interesting videos if anybody's interested in that. But I guess separate from the plug, like, Injustice actually does a lot of things right, and in a lot of ways, I have very limited experience with Marvel's Clash of Clans. I barely played it, but from
Contest of Champions.
Sorry, Contest of Champions. I'm mixing my popular mobile games. I've seen it, and it seems like just from what I've seen, there's a lot of systems in it that are also that kind of mobile game grindy thing, and I think Injustice is definitely a big victim of that too, where there's a lot of kind of free-to-play systems in it, but I feel like where Injustice has maybe a leg up on it is that it's not worth spending money for most of the stuff, so that we don't even feel tempted to it. So it's a lot closer to like an actual just free game. So it feels a little bit more like a free game because it's a little bit less in your face, and it acts a little bit more like a free game because it's so expensive that it's not worth buying most times.
I know it's not the same thing or even similar or even related, but what you just said reminds me of the Dark Souls, where when they nerfed the healing so bad that you don't even want to bother doing it, and so it doesn't feel as bad because you're not going to be taking that chance of getting killed while you're trying to heal yourself.
Yeah, okay, I mentioned that in one video, then we had the conversation afterwards. We should just keep bringing it up and never explaining what we mean until people actually have to ask us about it, and then we can include it
I'm just saying
as a base question for the Q&A. But yeah, so whether one is better than the other, I can't actually say. I don't have anywhere near enough experience with both games to be able to say for sure. What I do know is that I like the inobtrusiveness of them trying to get your money in this game, and at least from a kind of user friendliness standpoint, that gives this game serious points that 95% of mobile games don't have. So I think that's the best thing that I can say about this, separate from any actual gameplay thing, because I feel like for that, a lot of it's subjective. I feel like that's something that it does right, and that's something that it kind of objectively does right. I think it's hard to argue that Injustice has a pretty good paid platform, and which is essentially don't pay for it.
I can't add anything to that. All right.
Yeah. So there we go. Our next and final question, and this is super related because we've already kind of done this. We've it comes from Kush Kamble, and they said, not trying to be negative, but you go way off the topic and answer too few questions, like 2 answers in 14 minutes. That's too much. I'm assuming he means that's not enough.
Well, that's too much indulging
time,
ourselves, too much time on each question.
Too much time, not enough questions. Maybe we're answering too many questions. Maybe what he says is that we go way off topic. He wants us to spend 15 minutes answering only one question and just never go off topic from that question.
So let's answer the part that maybe he's not saying because the comment was ambiguous enough, and the idea that maybe we're not spending enough time answering like a bunch of concrete questions people have about Injustice. And I think it really depends on your point of view. I mean, let's pretend that the only reason someone watches these Q&A videos is to get information, and the success of this Q&A video is defined by the number of questions answered. Yeah, these would be a bit of a failure then. But if the point of these Q&As was a chance for us, like you and me, to have a conversation using a particular comment as a starting point,
that other people will actually bother listening to.
Yeah. And which it is actually. This is actually the point of our videos. Then these have been wildly successful.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, right? If there's a question that's really straightforward and we could answer it quickly, it's easier to just do it in the comments, which we do, and some of our viewers actually do too, and we thank you for that, because that's pretty helpful.
And to be fair, if it was all easy questions to answer, we would not have 15 minutes a week worth of content worth of questions to answer from our comments. There aren't that many, guys. There's a limited supply of them, and we appreciate all of them, but like,
yeah. All right, so Bane,
there's only so many we even get.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since I've said this, so it might be worth revisiting a bit, but we do this channel, this whole YouTube thing, it's a hobby. I mean, that's part of the reason why we don't have, like, other social media kind of presences.
Or many other types of videos.
Yeah.
Or good video editing. This is movie maker video editing.
Yeah. And we like this channel. And we care about it, but it's not our life. I mean, that's another reason, too, why so far we've got our secret identities that we've kept secret, and this is our superhero identity.
Our secret identities, as opposed to our public secret identities, which are the things that we pretend to be when we're around our friends.
All right, that's true. So, but you know, we're only going to keep doing this as long as it's fun. It's a hobby. It's not a job. But because you know what's the most fun about this channel? It's talking to like-minded people who enjoy discussing and playing the game, and getting free stuff. That's the best thing about this channel.
When I see all the free t-shirts that I have, those make me happy. I enjoy those free t-shirts, and I wear those free t-shirts. That's most of what I wear.
And I guess for anybody watching who doesn't get the illusion, we actually do a bunch of unboxings that don't get nearly as many views, but we've had basically, I guess, sponsors who've been sending us different things. My favorites are actually the books, the free books, preview copies of books to read. So yeah, so for those of you watching this particular video and our unboxings and all the stuff that we do outside of Injustice, thanks, because views on our videos, but especially on those unboxing review videos, is what gets us more free stuff. I guess maybe this would be interesting because I don't think a lot of people who are not in YouTube are aware of this, but
to be fair, a lot of people are talking about it.
Are they?
The drop in ad revenue for some people are calling it like the YouTube apocalypse. Yeah, so it's a pretty big deal. A lot of advertisers are pulling a lot of support, and we're essentially making like
half as much money. Like we were making about $1 every 1,000 views, and now we're making 50 cents every 1,000.
Yeah, and so that's like with family-friendly content. Like there's a bunch of people who have been having their like their videos partially demonetized based off of keywords and stuff, where they're making like 10% as much only.
Oh, that would suck.
So we haven't even been hit that hard. Though I guess in another sense we've been hit harder. Well, if we were trying to make our living off of YouTube, it would be a totally different thing. But so yeah, people are making less money from ads on YouTube. So even if people haven't been as sponsored before, or hadn't been using like Patreon as much before, we can be expecting like a little bit more of that as stuff goes on. But like we don't really.
So but that's sort of the flip side, right? So it's a hobby, so we do it as long as it's fun. But the cut in the ad revenue, because we're not making that much anyways, isn't really going to kill us, because the fun stuff is still there.
Yeah, so we almost don't care. For anybody who does care enough, and especially for anybody who's watched this late in the video, which means that you like at least one YouTuber enough to listen to them spout off about themselves for a while.
Which one is it? Which one of us is your favorite?
Maybe both. Hopefully both. Don't answer that in the comments. I don't think my fragile ego could take it.
It's like children. You're not supposed to have a favorite child.
Yeah. But what you can do is
oh, how did he hit? Okay.
And I've been doing this even a little bit for choice YouTubers. When you see one of those long form videos that let you skip the ad, people don't make money unless you watch past that point. So a lot of cases why you're getting shorter, lesser paying ads is because that's the stuff that with greater frequency people will actually bother watching.
Yeah.
So when you get a longer ad, I think you need to watch at least 30 seconds for some and all of them for others. Sometimes when I get a longer form ad, I will not skip it. Like sometimes I have a second monitor. What I'll do is I'll pull it over to the other monitor and then I'll mute it and then I'll watch the whole thing, even if it's like 3 minutes. And I'll do something else. I'll check my phone or something. So that's in a time where people are making a lot less money from something. You as one viewer watching a whole long form ad can probably make that person a lot more money than the next 20 views that they're gonna get, or 30 views. So when you're doing that, you're going from being kind of only helping as much as you've always been helping, which is to say with a normal view, to actually helping
like a super viewer.
Yeah, you're like it's like a really kind of high paying view comparatively. And if people are only making 10% of what they were making before, but everybody was doing that, they'd actually be making more money from ad revenue. So like if that matters to you, and if there's people's content that matters to you enough that you want to support them, that's a very easy way to support them with your time. That you know, you don't have to like sign up for any service. It's not like Audible or NatureBox or Blue Apron or all of those or Movement Watches, where all of them kind of require a buy-in. Either it's like a free trial where you need credit card information, or you need to actually physically buy something and you just get like a discount on it. Watching all of a YouTube video ad is a way of giving them a little bit of money really easily, but a little bit of money in a way that actually counts, where your view isn't just like 1/10 of a cent, where your view actually counts for like an amount of money.
A view is actually that much, 1/10 of a cent?
Well, something like that.
It's half of that now.
Yeah, however much it was, however much it was before. Like I think like you can actually make in the range of actual like multiple cents for a full ad video view. So there you go.
Oh, and actually, I think we could have talked a little bit longer. We're out of time.
So I guess we should ramble a little bit less maybe next time. We'll take it into consideration.
Take it under advisement.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.